All right. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, it's pretty exciting. We got the 21-day fix challenge packs on sale next month, all of October for $140. I know that's like kind of our go-to for a lot of us, but there is 1 day left in the month. So push hard I know you guys probably have been doing a lot of follow-ups this week. So if you have some challenge groups coming up, make sure you're letting those people know that you're still talking to them today and trying to hit Success Club today, because the prizes for this month, I believe, are like you get P90X, and I think you get P90X 2. Is there anything else that comes with the Success Club rewards? I think that was it, right? I mean, it's worth $240 right there. Okay, something I posted today, and I've noticed this over the last 3 years. And some of you guys might have noticed this, so kind of August, September are typically slow months in everybody's business, not just yours, not just Team Boom. I've talked to a lot of other top coaches and their businesses. It's just a kind of a funny time of year. October, things start to pick up a little bit, but really it's obviously things really take off for those New Year's resolutions in the beginning of next year. And the coaches that put in the effort right now for the next 90 days are the ones that are going to have the people coming to them when those New Year's resolutions kick in. So we talk about that all the time. You can't expect people to buy challenge packs immediately when you first invite them. But when you get that no, you've planted a seed, and now they're going to watch you, and they're going to be looking to you when they do decide to do a program, as long as you've planted that seed, got that no, and you stayed consistent with your own journey. So that's what it's so important to do these next 90 days. Get your no's, plant your seeds, and be consistent with your own journey. And those people are going to come to you for their New Year's resolutions to start the year. And that's how you're going to kick off this giant 2016 year, which I know all you guys want to crush it in 2016. These next 90 days are how you're going to lay the foundation for that. That's how this business works. The effort you put in, you see the results usually 3 to 6 months later. So if you want 2016 to be your year, you start now. Cool? All right, so recognition. These are the coaches that hit Success Club 10 during September. Sarah Chenin. Whoa. All right, someone's excited about Success Club 10. Okay, so Success Club 10. We got Sarah Chenin Haskins with 10. We got Jessica Cabal, Jennifer Bellicon, who's a brand new coach. That's Melinda Hall's new coach. And then Melinda Hall also hit Success Club 10. Casey Bachlet hit 11. Lee Morera with 12. Eddie Cristofano. Eddie, he's a brand new coach too, with 13 Success Club points. That boy, Eddie. We got what? We got myself with 14. Morgan Stevens, who I believe is Casey Bachlet's coach, with 14. Kelsey Kahan with 14. Caroline Nathan with 14. Terry Bachlet with 14. And Amy Reelman with 25. Killing it. Ton of people with Success Club 5 through Success Club 9. So, wow, I would guess that's a crazy amount. I think this month we helped over 500. I'm not exactly sure, but I would guess 400 or 500 new people commit to a challenge group this month, which is pretty cool. Okay, next recognition. Oh, okay, so next month, our goal, I want it to be 1,000. I want to help, as a team, 1,000 new people commit to challenge groups, a challenge pack and a challenge group next month. And hopefully with the challenge packs on sale for $140, the 21-day fix, that's going to help us get to 1,000 people that we're going to be helping commit to a challenge pack. And since October, I think, is the breast cancer awareness month, I'm going to donate $1 for every person we help commit to a challenge pack and a challenge group next month. So my goal is for the team to help 1,000 people commit to a challenge pack and a challenge group, and I want to donate $1,000 to breast cancer awareness, partly because Alyssa means a lot to me, and her story really touched me this weekend, as I'm sure it did for all you guys that were there. So let's shoot for 1,000 people this next month. And I'm going to be posting every week. I'll have a little thermometer, which I kind of started doing. That's going to kind of gauge where we're at. trying to get closer to that goal of helping 1,000 new people in October. What? Oh, and there's a Super Saturday. I think it's October 15th. No, 17th. October 17th. So all over the country, there's going to be coaches hosting Super Saturdays. You can find the closest one to you by going to your Coach Online office and going to News and Training. There's a News and Training tab, and you go to Live Events, I believe. Let me just double check. News and Training. You go to News and Training Events, and then you'll see under Events, you'll see Super Saturday 2015, and then you'll be at it. So Coach Online office, News and Training Events, Super Saturday. That is honestly where a lot of coaches have their first aha moment. They get around a bunch of other coaches that are really excited about what they're doing on this mission that Beachbody has, and it's kind of contagious. You start to see that this thing is a lot bigger than you thought. So do whatever you can to get to those live events. This is an event-driven business. The coaches that are getting to live events are the ones that are having the most success. It's no coincidence. So that's October 17th. Okay. So overall, we got the volume points. We got the top 20 Team Boom coaches for volume for the week of September 10th through the 16th. Yep. So with over 250 volume points. So again, volume points, whatever you personally purchase yourself and what your customers purchase from you, that all is what creates your personal volume points. And that's what I'm going to kind of read off here. And then, so any coaches you have on your team that are kind of in your downline, everything that creates their personal volume points is what creates your team volume. So if you have a coach below you and they have 100 personal volume points because they've sold some stuff, that creates 100 team volume points for you, and that's what creates your team bonus every week. And for the leaders on the team bonus is 95% of our income. So that's something to definitely pay attention to. So these are the coaches that had the most volume, the top 20 coaches on Team Boom that had the most volume that week of September 17th through the 23rd. It's what it says here. So with over 250, we got Kristen Boris, Margaret Mackerer, Carrie Martabano, Brittany Hall, Donnie Imez. We got Ann Anderson. We got Genevieve Lee. With over 300, we got Alicia Falling, Kelly Regan, Caitlin Kappa, Rhonda Mellett, Casey Bachlet, Tara Brenner, Amy Papolino, Mindy Clark, Leanna Hergenrender. Yeah, I'm sure she's going to like that. Andrea Wallace, Peter Reelman, Terry Bachlet. Over 400, we got Jeff Leese, Tammy Haiti. With over 500, we got Charlotte Goldbach and myself. And then the last recognition here, the coaches that enrolled coaches during the week of September 17th through the 23rd. With one coach each, we got Wade Kephart, Vanessa Ramirez, Terry Bachlet, Shonda Kokovich, Sarah Chenin, Rebecca Vasquez, Raymond Davis, Nicoletta Sidowitz, Melinda Hall, Leslie Clements, Carrie Steelman-Schmidt, Katie Scala, Kathy Korbecki, Kate Frizzle, Carrie Wood, Julie Walker, Jamie Garcia, Elizabeth Sutera, Donnie Imez, David Ninjuan, Charlotte Goldbach, Casey Bachlet, and Jill Wagner enrolled 2 coaches during the week of September 17th through the 23rd. So we got some new team members that are going to need some of our help. So that kind of reminds me of the diamond call we just had. I think sometimes when we bring new coaches into the business, we kind of say like, go watch this video. Here's a video to watch. And we kind of just pointing where they need to go. It's kind of like versus like actually sitting down with them, kind of holding their hand through the process of learning what it takes to be a coach. So I know I'm guilty of that. And I think the analogy that I really liked was a lot of times when we get a new coach enrolled in the business, we get them on a bicycle and we kind of like just push them. And that's not how you teach your little kid to ride a bike. You don't put them on a bike for the first time and just push them, and you hold them and you run alongside them until they feel comfortable, and then you gradually let go of them and you let them ride the bike on their own. I think it's so important that we do that with our new coaches that we're enrolling. All right, that's the recognition. So for you that didn't go to the retreat, I'm sure you guys saw some pictures. I hope you did, and saw some videos. So what I wanted to do was just have some of the coaches that went to the retreat, that it was their first Beachbody event that they had been to, just kind of share their top takeaway from the training, or just maybe a conversation they had like outside of the training, or just about the experience in general. I'd love for you guys to just kind of, if you could just comment in the chat section below, and I'll just kind of call you guys one at a time. We'll start with the new coaches. It was their first Team Boom retreat, or their first event ever. So let's see who wants to start. Oh, look at that. We got Lauren Deal on the call. Wow. How about a round of applause for Lauren, who just got in a car accident, but she's like still fighting. She's still getting on the team call. How about that? Tough girl. I love it. You look good. You don't look like you just got in a car accident. Smiling still. Let's see. We got, who wants to go first? Lauren wants to go first. How about, all right, you go for it.
First, because I'm in bed and I would never miss a team call, but I want to be part of this. So hold on, I wrote my takeaways down because my brain's a little fuzzy. So if I don't make sense, I'm really sorry. I'm really trying. Just talking to people by the pool was powerful. Like going to these trips, I was really nervous because you get on to a plane and you go down and you're not sure, who will talk to you, or who will eat lunch with you, or will it be swimming alone in the ocean? And that was never the case. This team is incredible. I really joined a powerful team of dedicated, kind-hearted, sweet people who just want to make the world a better place and a healthier place. So neat experience just coming down and being part of that. But then professionally, my takeaways were from the incredible people that got up and spoke. And that takes a lot of bravery in itself to share your journey and how you got to where you were. And so some of the things that I took away were not comparing myself to people who have been doing this way longer than I have, but also finding my tribe, not just trying to sell challenge packs, making a connection with people, caring about their journey so that maybe they'll want to join our team and be part of this with us. Another thing is just finding those specific hashtags that bring those awesome people to us. That was a challenge for me, just trying to figure out, one, who am I and what are my hashtags? And just learning simple things about like how the online office works, like how to build your legs, your team volume points, understanding cycling and what that even means. And just consistency. That's something that I need to grow on. And I think Pat says it to me a lot, patience and consistency, but I need to hear it more. So, and just embrace it. All right, I'll be done.
It's nice to like, when you're having those conversations by the pool, like I know I say that all the time, you just got to be patient. You got to treat people like people, not points, be consistent. It's nice that like when you come and sit by the pool and you talk to the other leaders on Team Boom, and some of the, even there was some coaches there that are very successful that weren't on Team Boom. They were all saying, pretty much the same thing. Maybe hopefully you don't think I'm crazy anymore.
It's nice hearing it from other people too, Pat.
Yeah, good. Maybe you'll listen to them even more. I like it. Awesome. Cool. Well, you fit right in, which was great. I think it's always nice to have like some new personalities come in, new people. And like, that's what it's all about. It's not like we're just focusing on just helping our challenge members and then it ends there. And then after their 21 days, they go back to whatever lifestyle they were in before. Like, we want to help these people beyond the 21 days. And if that means empowering them to become a coach and then creating a ripple effect of them going out and helping people of their own, like you have, Lauren, then that's what it's all about. So I'm really excited that you came and had a blast, and we all had a blast having you there.
Thank you. I have to joke.
We love you, Lauren.
Love you too. Kelly was joking about finding your tribe, and I was like, wait a minute, I already found them. Now who else am I going to get?
Cool. Awesome. Anybody else? Anybody that was their first event they've ever been to that wanted to share like one of their takeaways?
It was my first time being at an event, and this is Eddie.
Eddie, what's up, man?
Hey, can you see me?
Trying to find you.
Okay. Well,
Oh, there you are.
it was my first time at an event, and everyone was pretty much new besides Caroline. I had friended a couple people on Facebook, and obviously I was in the groups, but I've only been in it for a month, and it really was. We had the 3 hour. I only got the training on Saturday, but we had the 3 hours of training, and everyone was sharing their experiences. But it was also the cab rides, the lunch, the dinner, the hanging out by the beach, and just everyone talking. Everyone you see does things a little bit differently, and they work within what they know and their network, and then they also get ideas from each other. So what works? We have scripts. We have our upline to get resources from. So there's a lot of different ways to go about it, a lot of ways that are proven already that work, like proof of the product. If you just do that every day, you're going to have people reaching out to you. And not to mention, if you do the invites every day and follow-ups. And Caroline and I just got my planner set up today. So that's a big thing because, I would do things, but I wasn't doing everything I wanted. So writing things out in my planner and having that out, for the future. It's just all these little things that a new coach might not know how to do, can learn from their upline.
Eddie, what before you came to the retreat, your thoughts about what the possibilities were with this opportunity? Did they change at all, like coming to the event and kind of meeting some of the people on the team?
Well, I was already pretty optimistic. I met Caroline to begin with, and she had told me her story and how she started a year ago, or a year and a half ago. But it was great. And sorry, I'm getting distracted by the phone here. But no, and I did P90X in January to March, and I already believed in the product. So just being able to do something that I believe in has been the best part. I'm having fun with it. So awesome, man.
It's nice, man. We're excited to have you. It's always nice to have some more dudes on the team. Like it's nice. I think a lot of times, like some of the women on the team like have husbands that I think would crush the business, but sometimes they look at it as just like a women's business. But I think the more that like Team Boom gets more and more guys that have success, I think the more of the husbands are going to get involved, which is going to make it even more fun. So it's nice to have some new blood on the team that comes in with an optimistic attitude and got along with the team great. So we're excited to have you, man.
Yep. Thanks.
Cool. Anybody else? It was their first retreat, their first event. Want to share their top takeaway?
I can go. It wasn't my first event. I actually went to Summit as well. But I thought retreat was a lot different, kind of like everyone else said. Summit was great for the trainings, and retreat was honestly too, but I felt like at Summit we didn't have as much like time just with our team. So it was really nice at retreat just to get to know everybody a little bit more, and honestly just spend more time like with our team rather than like in the trainings. I mean, the trainings were awesome, and I had a lot of takeaways from those too, but kind of like Lauren was saying, even just like sitting by the pool, having the conversations, me and like Amy and Laura and a couple others did, and Lauren too, did a workout in our room together. So that was like, I don't know, one of my favorite moments. We did a max 30 workout in our little living room. So that was awesome.
Knocking into each other.
We were. So yeah, just like the intimacy of it and being able to talk and have those small conversations. And then I really liked, like, from the training specifically when Marissa Myers spoke, and she said that we need to, or like her motto kind of is to help people from the inside out. That really stuck out to me. So that was one of my biggest, like, huge takeaways from the trainings. So it was awesome. I'm so happy I went.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think that's some of our, also, like, we want to help people beyond like the fitness, nutrition, and just helping them build a business. We want to help them with all aspects of life from the inside out. And sometimes that's hard, you know, like to do that on your own. But when you kind of go to these events and you surround yourself with like a bunch of people that also want to help others from the inside out, it makes it more real. It makes it more attainable, because there's a lot of people on the team that were there that you got to meet that are already doing it and having a lot of success. And you get to meet them and you're like, oh, they're just like down to earth, normal people like me. Like, I could do this too. You know, this isn't for like the select few. So yeah, I'm glad you felt that. That's great.
Exactly. And I was like, oh, all these people eat pizza too. Good. I'm not alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome.
We're real. There's cheat meals. There's cheat meals involved.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Ray.
Hey. I guess my biggest takeaway from the whole thing, being within Boom for almost a year now, actually a little over a year now, and this was, my first time actually meeting everyone. And one thing I felt was that during that year, I felt kind of distant from everyone. I felt like, like we were talking about earlier about everybody just gets pushed onto videos and all we do is Zoom calls, this and that. It just feels very automated. It didn't really feel personable in any way, but like getting to that retreat and getting to hang out with everyone in trainings, outside of trainings, the little cap rides back and forth and jumping in the little golf carts, going from here to there, hanging out at the clubs in the wee hours of the night, it just made it all turn real. I already had belief in the team before all this, but it just felt automated. But I did have belief in, and I know staying with this team, the success would come. But once I got there and actually got involved with everyone and talked to everyone, it just like doubled over that belief that I have in everybody, and knowing that this it'll happen. It's just a matter of time. And success is going to come no matter what, as long as you stick with it. And especially when you have a team like this behind you, supporting you the way they do, it's inevitable.
Hashtag it. Hashtag inevitable. Love it. Awesome. Thanks, man. Anybody else? Any first timers want to share?
Okay, I'll go.
Awesome.
Marty and I had a great time. This is our first event that we went to. He's teaching class tonight, so he's not home. But one of my takeaways was staying consistent for sure. I know that's been a struggle of mine, but ever since I got back, I've written my schedule out. Thanks to Amy's suggestion. I do better if I write things out pretty meticulously. And so following that has helped me to stay consistent in my posting and doing that. And so that's my goal, is every single day to just take the time it needs to do that. And then also another takeaway was from Kelly's talking about focusing on a target audience. I think I've kind of been all over the place, just not looking for quality people, just trying to sign people. And obviously that's not the way to go about it either. So for me, focusing on that target audience and sticking with that instead of just picking people randomly, I think I'll definitely find better quality people. So and then meeting everybody was amazing, and just getting to experience that, and still kind of coming down from that high of being with everybody, and now we miss everybody, and it was just an amazing experience. So thank you to everybody that made that possible.
Awesome. We're actually going to have, so Kelly Hanner, for those that weren't there, she talked about kind of like how to narrow down who you want to work with, because that makes a huge difference in this business. Once you find what she calls your tribe, like the people that you truly click with, this business becomes so fun and exciting. So we're going to have Kelly actually get on one of our team calls in the near future to talk a little bit about what she talked about at the retreat. Some of the things she does to show who she is on social media, which attracts the people that she wants to work with. So I'm excited that she's going to be on our team call coming up here soon. So cool. Thanks, Autumn. Any other first timers want to share? I can't see everybody. Where is everybody? How about, so maybe not your first ever event, but for anyone that was their first Team Boom retreat, want to share? You can just unmute yourself and talk, whoever wants to go.
I can go.
Go for it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on my phone. My kids took my computer. But hey guys, this was my first Team Boom retreat, and last year I pretty much watched the whole thing on a Zoom call with my sister. So I was kind of hanging out, and this was kind of cool because I was actually there this year, not online. I would have to say that my biggest takeaway was, I guess I kind of knew, what to do, but now I feel like my biggest takeaway, I know everybody keeps saying like building your tribe, but I mean, even since I got back, like I started a new moms group, and has nothing to do with Beachbody, and I already have over 300 members, and I was like scared to do it. I was like, how do I even do it? That was awesome. Like started doing that, like really applying everything that I learned in all of the trainings.
I hope it's not called the mom's hole.
Yeah, you have to be a mom to get in there. So I think a couple snuck in, but we'll see. No, but it's crazy because it's, it's a mom group, but just even in there, people were just talking about their husbands and being nicer to them. And like, it was just funny. So anyway.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
You noticed I unloaded the dishwasher.
I know. And now my husband brought me flowers. Like, what was so great? But that's been amazing. Like actually applying what you're learning. And all the support from everybody. Everything that Shauna did, and, Annie, and, being there for everybody throughout the whole retreat. And it was just really special. So, in the long run, it made me a better person. That was one of the biggest takeaways that I had was, it just made me better, and it made me really know what I need to do and excited to do it.
Awesome. Love it. And your training was amazing too, by the way. All your like scheduling and time management skills and the craziness of your life. I liked how my mom at the end of it was like, but there's like an end goal of all this craziness that you're doing time management, right? Like,
yeah.
Like not gonna do it forever.
Yeah. You've got to see the big picture. And once you see the big picture, why not? It's inevitable. Just do it. And then you're going to be awesome like Pat. So it's cool.
Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, it's true. If you're willing to like kind of live your life a little bit differently than most people aren't willing to do for a year or two, and make some sacrifices and really be disciplined, then it is inevitable. If you do the right things and you stick to it and you're patient and you put people first, you are going to have success with this thing. And
yeah,
I think it's
just so exciting when it starts to happen. So
yeah. The more like I got to live events, the more I kind of realized that. The more I realized like this business isn't for like the select few. This business is for anyone that's like that has tough skin and a big heart. Like you got to have both, and you got to be patient. You got to put people first. Like I knew that. I started to see that, and it made me like realize that I would regret it if I didn't do this. And it wasn't like I was making excuses like, oh, if I don't do this, or if I try this, I'm not going to be successful. The more I hung out with people that were already doing it, the more I realized they were just normal people, and that I could do it if I really put my mind to it. And so the more time went by and I didn't put the time in, the more I started to regret it and regret it and regret it. And then the discipline I needed to do didn't seem like that big a deal because the regret became so big. And then I was willing to put in the work and make it work. And that I think that I never would have felt that way. I never would have put in the work if I hadn't got to those live events and surrounded myself with all the successful coaches and realized that they're not any different than any of us on this call. I'm not different than anyone else on this call. I'm not any more capable. None of these leaders are any more capable than anyone else on this call. The difference between us and anyone else is we just have a little bit of a head start. We're the compound effect. We're the slight edge. And anyone that wants to put the slight edge to work for them can make this business a success and help a lot of people along the way and inspire a lot of people to do the same. So I think when you get around people that are having success, that's what you realize about this business. It's just a slight edge, compound effect kind of thing. So cool. All right. Anybody else? That was their first retreat?
I'll go.
Awesome.
So, I guess my biggest takeaway was just, like everyone else said, finding who your tribe is. And for a long time, I think I was afraid to not necessarily share who I am emotionally, but how I kind of go about working out and things like that. I don't necessarily do Beachbody programs every single day. I definitely do them, and I have done programs in the past, but I was kind of scared to show that I have gotten to the point where I really love just being around people even when I am working out. So sharing that I can go to the gym and that I can recruit people and still have a successful business, even though I don't do that every single day, because I still drink Shakeology and I still do the meal plan. And like Allie was saying, knowing that not everyone sticks to it 100% of the time, and just like that everyone else is real with it. And like everyone else said too, just talking about your goals for the future and really digging to find out what your why is. I think we had a really good conversation by the pool a couple of nights. And so that was just like my biggest takeaway, was hearing everyone else's why, and that kind of helped me to discover mine even deeper than it was.
Which is?
Well, I guess what I learned is over the past year, I've gained so much confidence through doing this, just with like being a leader to others, being a leader to myself, and getting out of my comfort zone and going, traveling. I never allowed myself to travel. I always thought that I had to save and never spend a dime on anything that was like wasteful in my eyes. But I've quickly realized that, you can always make more money, but you can't get that experience back. So that's something that I'm super thankful for, is because anytime that anybody would ask me to go on a vacation before, I always just like, no, I don't have time. I don't have the money. But each of these times, I don't remember the money that was spent, but I do remember the experiences that I've had. So what I've learned is I've gained a lot of confidence, but I still have some ways to go. And I think it's awesome that like Beachbody and being on a team like this helps you to get to that point and like find out who your like true self is, and not just like I think people know the surface level of who they are, and not a lot of people dig to the guts and core of it. I don't know how to explain it to people who don't do the personal development all the time, like people outside of reading a lot, but that's what I got out of it. So I think just finding that and knowing that you can get to that deep level of finding out who you are, and then knowing that you can do anything that you want to, and for me, I think what I would like to do is do therapy 10, 15 hours a week, see 10, 15 clients a week. But other than that, have a 5-day weekend every weekend and not have to worry. And like Allie was saying at our talk, working because you want to, not because you have to.
Boom. I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, Amy's clapping over here. It's so cool to like see that, like people do kind of limit themselves. They put themselves in like this comfort zone, in this box. And when you start to like surround yourself with people that live outside their comfort zone, it starts to push you to get outside of yours. And you start to like, you take that first scary step outside of your comfort zone, and it actually feels good. It's scary, but when you do it, then you're kind of hooked, and you take another, and then your comfort zone gets bigger. So then you got to push a little bit harder, and you take another step. There's something pretty cool that happens when you surround yourself with people that want to grow, and they want to help other people grow. You kind of like you can't help it. You grow too. And it's a pretty cool thing to see. That's awesome. Your why is always going to evolve. The more you get outside of your comfort zone, the more you grow, the more of a leader you become, the more you help other people grow, the bigger your why gets. And it's so exciting to see that that's starting to happen. Cool. Awesome. Anybody else? That was their first retreat.
will.
Go for it.
Um, kind of going on what you were just saying, that I learned our team is full of dreamers and doers, and they generally care about one another. They encourage each other. Personal development is truly vital. Not just a suggestion, but really is necessary. And then the biggest thing I've heard from every live event I've been to, whether it's Super Saturday, Summit, Retreat, is the consistency, being consistent. Every single successful coach has been consistent with their daily actions. And don't be afraid to ask for help, because the top people on our team have been there where the not so top people are at now. So that's what I got.
Consistency. And then consistency with personal development. Huge. The more you like become consistent with your own growth, the more like your business will grow, the more the people you're helping are going to be able to grow, because you're kind of raising your own lid. And then your business and the people you're working with, they can only grow to like where you've gotten to, where your lid is for your growth. The more if you commit to yourself, you're going to grow every day, and personal development is your number one vital behavior, and you're going to be consistent with that every day. It's inevitable that your lid is going to rise, and then your business is going to follow. And the people you can help you're going to be able to help them to that level too. That's why I believe that personal development, being consistent with that every day, is the number one vital behavior. I think everything else kind of revolves around that. And then as far as like, it's kind of cool knowing that like when you go and you see some of these other coaches that are successful and you talk to them and you realize, yeah, like they were a coach at one point too, brand new, like with insecurities and doubts. It makes it more real. It's like, oh, they didn't like just sign up and we're a 5-star diamond, like elite coach. They were a coach at one point, learning all this stuff, terrible at it, not consistent, learning by making mistakes. It's pretty cool. We're there. The leaders on the team are just normal, down-to-earth people that have made a lot of mistakes along the way. So anybody can get to where they're at if they're willing to grow themselves and put in the consistency. Anybody else? I guess we can open it up to just anybody in general. I think we hit a lot of the people that it was their first event or first retreat. But if it was your first retreat, we'd still love to hear from you. But anybody else that maybe their second retreat. Trip, that was your first retreat, right?
Yeah, that was my first retreat. I was at Summit, but I think retreat was totally different than Summit. I got a lot more out of retreat than I did Summit. But yeah, for me, it was along the same lines. It was an opportunity for me to get out of my comfort zone even more. That's something I've been taking little steps at throughout the last year as being a coach and doing those scary things. But then I was able to kind of take it to the next step here, and I had an opportunity to speak in front of everyone, which literally like made me sick the night before. I didn't sleep the night before, but it was nice because even though I probably made a lot of mistakes when I talked and whatever, I was surrounded by people. It was like a safe zone, you know. So it was people that, you know, the other speakers, they had a first time where they spoke, and so it was like people, like you said, they understand where they started as well. So I mean, we're all coming from that day one, and then you have to get to that point. But it was just those opportunities I got to lead a workout routine with everybody one of the mornings, which was really cool. I'd never done anything like that. And again, I know I made a lot of mistakes. I kind of screwed it up a little bit, but it didn't matter because I was surrounded by people who understood that, and it was like a safe zone. So it was making those connections, you know, making those faces real, but at the same time knowing that everybody supports you as you make your mistakes in this business. But the key is, you know, to keep pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and doing these scary things just a little bit at a time. You don't have to like go for the gusto, you know, right away, but just little tiny steps along your journey.
Yeah. And we're always going to continue to make mistakes, I think that, but we react a lot better to it now because we've made personal development something that we're consistent with, and we've surrounded ourselves with a lot of really positive, supportive people that are making mistakes too, and we make them together, and we pick each other up, and it's fun. I never, honestly, like, as a new coach, I would never have gotten on one of these calls and shared like my top takeaway. I would have been too nervous. I was like nervous to even like introduce myself when I was asked to be on like my first team call when I was a new coach. I was like, it's new. You're not going to be good at stuff you've never done before, and you're going to be nervous. And when you're nervous, you're not good at stuff. But the more you do it, the more excited you get about doing scary things, because once you're done with it, you're excited. I'm sure, Trip, like, you were so nervous and you were thinking so many different things. How can I get out of having to speak in front of everybody? Like, and then once you did it, I remember talking to you after, and you were so excited, and it went well, and you were like, all right, I want to do it again. I want to talk at Super Saturday in Denver, but you got to know that, like, man, I just would never have done this initially. I never would have. Leading a call, no way. Even getting on a call and just sharing like my takeaways, I wouldn't have done this. I just wouldn't have, So don't be like ashamed if you're embarrassed to share or talk in front of people. I still am, but I do it anyway because what we're talking about is fun stuff, and we're around, like Trip said, good people that aren't gonna like put you down. So
yeah, no, I can. And like you were saying, like my first 3 or 4 Zoom calls I had scheduled with you when I first started this business, I totally lied and like made up a reason why I couldn't do it because I was so freaked out to get on a video call. But it's one of those things when, like you said, once you do it and then you do it over and over and over again, you get better at it. It was the same thing with making videos. Like I would make a video of myself and say, okay, I'm gonna put it on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, and I would delete it 30 times and spend 3 hours doing that because I was like, my voice sounds so stupid, I can't do this. And then you just do it, you just get over that initial hurdle, and then you do it again and again and again. And now it's like nothing. It's just part of my daily routine now is making my video, talking to people and getting on Zoom calls. So yeah, you just got to consistently, do it. But getting over that initial thing, you just got to go for it,
Love it. Awesome. All right. I'm going to cut back on my lame commentary and just let you guys just share your takeaways. I'm going to just kind of rapid fire with you guys because we got 15 minutes left, and I know there's a bunch that still want to share. Who wants to go next?
I can go.
Go for it.
My biggest takeaway from events are always the relationships. Relationships of the people I have on this team are priceless to me. And I mean, you meet people. I walked into my hotel room and they were all coaches, like downline coaches of your other leg. So like no one that I'm like in my downline. And instantly they're like, oh my God. And they came up and gave me hugs, and like, you just don't get that elsewhere. And it's such a unique relationship. And I learned so much outside. I mean, trainings, obviously I learned a lot. But I learned so much in like talking to people that I was rooming with that I never met before, and at the pool and at lunch and out and wherever. I mean, I was constantly learning. But those relationships really, and last year I went to retreat and I didn't have a team. I was an Emerald coach. I had 2 coaches, and that really like got my business started. And then this retreat, I'm taking back so much from my team. And so it was like a very cool, different feeling to come back and have all these ideas for like 25 of my coaches, versus last year I was like trying to not lose Emerald rank. So that was cool. The relationships, getting to talk to you, Pat, you're my favorite person, you know that. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Cool. Who's next? 14 minutes left.
I'll go.
Go for it.
Okay. So this was my second retreat. I went to retreat last year, and I'm really glad that I went last year when it was such a smaller group, because I got to meet a group of people who that I then got to see again at Summit, and now I got to see them again at retreat. And just like Carolyn said, it's like, for me, these retreat or like events are totally relationship driven. We learn so much from the trainings, obviously. But we all went out to lunch together one day, and we had to share what we learned and what we loved or something like that. And I said, just like at home, like I'm gonna put this out there, but like I don't have any friends. And so I don't hang out with people when I'm home. And so like having people to vacation with and like a group of friends from all over the country to meet up with every like once in a while during the year, like it's so amazing. And even if they're not my personally sponsored coaches, like Lauren said, like you guys are my tribe. Like I think Amy does such an amazing job at finding people that are just like her, and we all get along so well that we can go to all of these events and just like be this group of friends. It's like we've known each other for years, and I just love that about getting to live events. And obviously I took a ton away from like our trainings and trying to find my own tribe and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Love it. Beachbody and Team Boom in particular, it attracts good people. So when you go to these events, you're surrounded by some really amazing people that you don't get other places. Cool. Awesome. Who's next? 12 minutes. Just unmute yourself and go for it.
I'll go. This was my first Team Boom retreat, but I've been to Summit. But the biggest difference that I took from this time was that, you know, just the relationships. And at Summit, I kind of felt like a lost person. Like I didn't feel like I talked to a lot of people, but this time I did. And just like when Kelly was talking about just like finding your tribe, I think that really hit home. And I'm trying to get my coaches now to do that as well. So short run.
Hashtag find your tribe. I love it. My dad said, I was talking to my dad last night and I was asking him about his tribe, and he was like, I'll just take anyone that can breathe. That's my tribe. We're gonna have to work on narrowing it down a little bit. Who said that? Did anyone else want to go?
I don't know.
There's some veterans on here. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this was my first retreat, my first event ever. And it was also my first trip away from my kids and my family. So it was very intense. There's a lot going on. But I want to say the biggest thing that I took away from it was really being comfortable in my own skin and accepting myself for who I am. And that's something that I've struggled with outside of this business. And I had a lot of expectations for this weekend that were they were answered in ways that I didn't expect. But again, my biggest takeaway in coming home, being able to share with my husband that I'm really, for whatever reason, I'm just really confident in who I am. And I'm not afraid of, if you don't like me, you don't like me, and that's okay. And I think that's one thing that you struggle with as a new coach. And I've only been doing this for 3 months, and you're going to run into people who don't like you, who don't think what you're doing is a good idea. It's not for them. And that's okay. And I think that is the biggest takeaway that any of us could have taken away from this whole experience. But so that's my piece.
Hashtag be you. Yeah. And it's not going to be easy at first. You know, like I think Kelly Hanner talked about that, how in the beginning, like when she would post things that might have rubbed people the wrong way, it might have got on her nerves a little bit. Or when people said something, it might have made her kind of pull back. But the more, you become confident with who you are, and the more you put it out there, and the less you care about what other people think, those people, your tribe, the people that agree with you and want to do the same things that you want to do and want to help people from the inside out, they're going to start to come out of the woodwork and start to comment and get your back, and you're going to eventually find them. You're going to have to go through some like dark times initially to build that, to get that following and to find your tribe, but it's so worth it in the end. So worth it. Awesome. Who else?
Pat?
Yeah, go for it. Oh, you're going to share about your tribe?
No, actually, yeah, I will take anybody that breathes, whether they're on oxygen tank or not. But that's because maybe just I'm a little bit older. But what my biggest takeaway from all these events is I've never been around so many positive people. I mean, it's just insane how positive the people are. I mean, I've been out there a little bit longer than a lot of people on this call, and it's not always that positive in the workforce. So, yeah, I'll take anybody because there's so many nice people. I talked to so many people I'd never talked to before. It was like an instant, this person is really cool, so sure, I'll take anybody. That's my take. Great bunch of people.
Mom?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
As usual, it was just an awesome event. I loved all the training. I mean, I think it was just outstanding. It was personal, and I think we just had the right mix of, I don't like to work out at 6 a.m. So, like getting up at 8, having a workout, 3 hours of training, lunch, time to ourselves, and then, gathering after. I just thought it was awesome. I do think Beachbody crams too much in. I mean, I can't sleep 5 hours a day. I mean, it's a rat race. And then, just meeting everyone and bonding and building the connections. And I mean, I just love everybody. It's just like crazy. It's crazy. Just getting bigger and bigger and better. Love you guys.
Mama Boom.
Yeah. I have pool here. I'm still relaxing in Florida.
Hashtag no judgment.
I'll go next.
Awesome.
So I always say this after every event, but my biggest thing is obviously the relationships, the people. I love meeting new people, seeing everybody I'm already friends with, all that good stuff. But the one thing that I really wanted to say is that when I was a brand new coach, I was a coach for like a month, and Pat and Annie were like, hey, are you going to come to Summit? And Alyssa and I are like, I don't even know what a Summit is. We're not going to that. And then we found out it was in Vegas. So then we're like, okay, we have to get to that. So I signed up as a coach the last week in March. Summit was the third week in June. I couldn't afford it. Didn't have the money. I put it on my credit card, and I got there. So every live event since then, I will not miss, because it fuels everything. It fuels your business. And back then, I couldn't afford it. Now I can afford to vacation 4 to 5 times a year. And why is that? Because my Beachbody business blew up. So obviously, I understand that finances are a big deal, but if you can make it happen, make it happen. Don't use money as an excuse. Put it on your credit card and use it as motivation to work your Beachbody business and use your Beachbody money to pay off that credit card, because it will come back tenfold for you. So I just want to say that.
It is. It's an investment in yourself. I don't think there's anything better to invest in.
100%. And Danny Johnson says the investment in yourself is the only investment you'll get back 100%.
Yeah, it's true. I love that. 5 minutes. Who else? That was great, Michelle. Come on, y'all. I got to start calling on people. Don't make me do it. No, I won't do that.
Pat, what's your takeaway?
My takeaway?
Yeah.
I think my takeaway was that I think we got to do a better job of sharing the things that didn't go really well in our journey with this business and with growth and whatever our journey was. We do a very good job of sharing what we are doing great at. Beachbody does a great job of recognizing us. I think the team does a great job of recognizing what we're doing well. But there's a lot of this is a business, and there's going to be some ups and downs. It's not like an easy journey. And I struggled with all this stuff. I was terrible at everything. I was terrible at finding people and connecting with them. I was terrible at inviting. I had no clue how to invite someone to join a challenge group. I had no clue how to handle objections. I didn't believe in personal development. I didn't, let alone inviting someone to take a look at coaching. I was just so bad at this. It took me 3 or 4 years to actually get to the point where I was ready to build this business. I think a lot of people don't know that when they look at successful coaches. So I just was committed to growing myself. I knew what it was going to take, and I just did personal development every day. I surrounded myself with people that were going to believe in me, that wanted to grow like I wanted to grow, that wanted more out of life like I wanted more out of life. And slight edge kicked in, and it happened, but it didn't happen overnight. It was a lot of struggle and a lot of stuff that didn't go right that I had to just get back up and keep going forward, get knocked down and get back up over and over. But it's so worth it. So worth it. So my takeaway is, I think we got to share, like, for every one thing that was a good success, share 2 things, 2 struggles that it took to get there, because that's how this business really works, and it sets a more realistic expectation for people. And when people do get knocked down, they know that's part of it, and they're going to get back up instead of comparing themselves to others that just have a highlight reel out there. So that was my biggest takeaway. Anybody else? Nada. All right. It's probably my favorite Team Boom call of all time. I love these ones. Every time after one of these retreats. I'll get the recording. I'll post it in the group for you guys that couldn't get on. Hopefully you guys get a lot out of this too. If you guys didn't want to share on the call, I'd love for you guys to kind of share, 1 or 2 takeaways that you had in the group. Feel free to post in there. Maybe, in a week from now, in a month from now, 2-3 months from now, like, share that with the rest of the team. There's going to be a lot of new coaches in there. Share what you learned and that you implemented and what's happened to you and your business, since you've implemented some of those things. And what's happened, there's going to be a lot of growth, not just from the things you learned during the trainings. There's going to be a lot of growth from the relationships you built, and just you're going to be closer with one another. You're going to be pushing each other even more, encouraging each other even more. I say this to my challengers all the time in the 21-Day Fix. Get outside your comfort zone, guys, and connect with each other, because the challengers that do that get out of their comfort zone and connect and encourage the other members are the ones that have the best experience and have the best results, and it's no different for the coaching opportunity. The coaches that get outside of their comfort zone, connect with other coaches, and encourage each other are the ones that have the best experience and the best results with this thing. So if you didn't get to the retreat, that's okay. Connect with some of these people. Set up Zoom calls. If you see someone that inspires you, reach out to them. Set up a 15-minute Zoom call and ask them if they'll share their top tip with you. And ask them if it's okay if you share the biggest thing you're struggling with. I bet they'll take that time to do that with you, and it's going to make all the difference in the world. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll post the recording in the group. I'll see you guys on Facebook. Boom on 3. All right, and we're out of here. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Boom.
Boom. See you guys.
How do I get the thing up? Did you?